Hey guys, Dominator of the World here, doing a 2 vs 2 commentary video on Empire Total War. In this battle, I command the Russians, and my ally, Robin Hood, commands the Poland-Lithuanians. As our enemies, for my enemy commands the Prussians, and his name is Pasuil. And my ally's enemy is John Luzon Du 91 of the U.S. Legion clan, and he commands the Cherokee Nation. So we're looking at my army. In the front line there was my Cossack infantry, and I have 2 of them. Behind them I have 5 units of line infantry and 2 units of guards, and on both flanks I have 2 units of riflemen. For my cav unit, I have 2 squadrons of dragoons, 2 squadrons of household cav, and my general's bodyguard. And my ally, Robin Hood, has 5 riflemen in the front lines. He has 5 line infantry as his normal line, and 2 guard units for reserves. His cav force consists of 2 Uhlans, 2 household cav, and his winged hussar unit. Alright, so let's look at my enemy's army. Pasuil has his general's bodyguard, 2 regiments of horse, 1 cuirassier, 1 Uhlans, 2 units of militia, and 8 line infantry. He also has 5 units of Prussian Jaeger. As for the Cherokee player, I can only tell you he has 4 mounted tribal gunners, his chief's bodyguard, and a lot of musket men. But you can't see them right now because they're all hidden. So if you guys look at my deployment, how I deploy my men, you can see that they were compact, very dense. And that's because I was planning, in the beginning of the battle, I was planning to do a Suvorov tactic and just charge my enemy without giving him time to react. But then I decided to take caution and go against it because, I don't know, I guess I just chickened out. But as you can see, I did not do a Suvorov tactic. Instead, I got my guys into line and duked it out with him. And my skirmishers basically form a little U, as you can see, and that's to outflank my opponent. And here's a reserve unit of line infantry. And here we're duking it out, but my line infantry aren't close enough to fire. And there's my Cossack infantry. Alright, so here's Robin Hood's army. What he's doing, he's just marching up. So far so good. It looks like something happened with his cav, but I didn't come quick in time to see what happened. But here's his opponent's tribal gunners. And over here on my left flank, I moved my dragoons over to help outflank my enemy. And they're gonna basically just duke it out with one of his line infantry. And here I moved my cav over to almost all my cav to the right flank because I saw his cav and was apprehensive of a cav charge he would make on my riflemen. Alright, so here I'm sort of giving flanking fire with my guards unit. So here they are, and here the rest of my infantry units are close enough to fire now. Alright, so we're going back to Robin Hood's side of the battle, and it looks like some of his units are routing, and that isn't necessarily bad since the Cherokee player has well upgraded units. But that doesn't leave a gap in his line, which strands those 2 units over there against all those Cherokee. So it's gotta suck to be them. For those of you who don't know, Robin Hood is also a YouTube commentator on the Total War series, as well as other games like Modern Warfare 2 and Age of Chivalry. And we've been planning to do dual commentary together, but we haven't been able to. And before we did that, we had some practice sessions on 2 vs 2 to see how we would do as a team, and this is one of the practice sessions that we did, and we worked well as a team, I think. But anyways, here he had his Uhlans charge into the Cherokee, I guess, so he could get his guards into position, because his reserve is needed. But both of his Uhlans are going to rout. So, and right now he's moving his line infantry up so that they can start firing. And now here's a bit later in the battle, and he's a bit scattered. The Cherokee are going in between his lines, so it's confusing as to where everybody is. Here's the unit. Alright, going back to my section of the battle, you can see that Pasuil is sending in his cav in a walking charge. I do the exact opposite and send my cav in a running charge, but it doesn't really matter, I guess, maybe. But we both charge his general's unit, and then he sends in a regiment of horse to charge into the battle, and he sends them running, so that's good. But I'm maneuvering one of my household cav to go around, and I'm gonna flank charge his unit there. And if I had both my dragoons over on my right flank, I probably would have been successful in completely surrounding and demolishing his cav force, but I was only able to partially surround his cav force. And you can see there that Pasuil lost his general, so that was a very hard blow on his cav, because now you can see one unit is routing already. And here I'm sending in my unit of dragoons to flank charge his other side of his cav. Alright, the Cherokee player is sending over a mounted tribal gunner unit to start shooting at my guys from behind. And in a sense that's wise, but for some reason it didn't work as he wanted. But here's Robin Hood's side of the battle, and you can see that he charged a unit into a Cherokee unit, but you didn't see that for long. Yeah, his units are all scattered, and so are the Cherokee player's unit. And I'm calling him the Cherokee player because his name is just ridiculous. I can't memorize that. But anyways, here's my side of the battle, and you can see that we demolished his line of infantry. Basically what I just did is outflank him and then just roll down his flanks until we reached his center, and then we demolished him. But he still has a militia unit that he charged into the riflemen, my riflemen, and so my riflemen are gonna give it their all with their little swords. The cav fight rages on, as you can see, and now we're back on the other side of the battle, but not for long. This is a little later in the battle, and it looks like Robin Hood's general died. Oh yeah, and earlier on in the battle, the Cherokee player's general also died, so my general is the only one living right now. But you can see that I'm losing the cav fight, and that's because he had more cav than me, and it didn't help that the Cherokee player sent in a unit of his cav. But even though he was winning, he decides to run away whenever he sees that my line infantry's almost there to help my cav. But here, Robin Hood has charged his line infantry, I think they are, into the Cherokee player's musketmen. And you can see how the bayonet fight it actually looks like whenever Fraps isn't on, because for some reason Fraps wasn't making the bayonet fight slower like it usually does. But Robin Hood's basically done with his Cherokee opponent, except one unit that ran away. It was his mounted tribal gunners, and they're gonna give one last fight for resistance and demolish my riflemen. And my guys are still chasing the Pasuil's cav, and he's just wasting time from an obvious victory for me and Robin Hood. But that's okay as long as I win. So here, the Cherokee player charged his mounted tribal gunners into my riflemen that were basically stranded in a way, and he manages to rout them. So I gotta give him dibs for making one of my units rout right before the end of the battle. But you can see Pasuil's units just routed. I think he admitted defeat, or his cav just got tired of running and decided to rout. But the Cherokee's player's unit also started routing, so I'm guessing they both admitted defeat. So that's a victory for me and Robin Hood. I did have more men remaining than Robin Hood, but that was because Robin Hood was playing Poland-Lithuania, and Poland-Lithuania is sort of based on cav. They have more cav units, and so that's why they're not very good for line infantry, and that's why he only had a little bit left. But good game to my opponents, and well done to my ally. Hope you guys enjoyed this video.